Mhm.
The next question is where should it be registered? Should it be in Delaware? If you're in California, then should it be in California? There are a couple of other states that always come up: Nevada, Wyoming. What's your take on the state by state registration?
Yeah, I mean, uh, see, my advice always is to go Delaware. Okay,
Okay.
if you are a tech startup, again, all these questions that W are asking, and these are very pertinent questions for a startup.
Hmm.
These are questions that come up in my discussion all the time. If someone has not already formed an entity, and the person walks into my office with an idea, and he wants to start a company, then these are questions that I ask. Yeah, these are the questions that the entrepreneur asks me, and the discussion then kind of revolves around the same things that I said earlier. Hey, what's your strategy? What's your fund capital strategy? A fundraising strategy. What is it that you want to achieve? Is this going to be your, are you thinking of this as a lifestyle business, that you're going to run this, it's going to be a cash flow business and you run it forever, and not think of selling it? Or are you thinking of this as a as a conventional tech startup, wherein you'll start now, you'll have 5 or 6 or 7 years of growth, and then you'll get acquired, right? And you'll generate wealth over over the time, and so those are things that you ask the entrepreneur. And most of the times, I would say that 9 out of 10 times the answers are pretty much, oh, I would be raising capital. Yes, I will go out and raise capital from angel investors. Oh yeah, I may have a friends and family around, but that I don't think is going to last me long. So within a 6 months to a year, I'll be out there trying to raise capital. And then yes, it's if you're raising capital, then you obviously understand that you're already thinking of an exit strategy, right? Because that's what the investors will want to know. So then we talk about, let's go the corporation route, right? The choice there is C corporation, S corporation, like you alluded to.
Yep.
My recommendation always is that if you've decided you want to be a corporation, if you want to raise capital from investors, if you then you should go Delaware.
Delaware.
Delaware C corporation is the entity that the investors most prefer. So
Mm.
it's like walking into a pitch and saying, "Hey, I am a Delaware C corp." It's kind of like checking the boxes, and you've one hurdle is already crossed.
Right.
If you walk into an investor pitch and you tell them that, "Hey, I'm a Nevada corporation, or I'm a California corporation, or I'm a LLC," be rest assured that, not if they like the company, then they will invest. But
Right.
before they put the money in, they will want you to convert into a Delaware corporation.
Right.
So anything that you've done until that time, whether you were LLC or you were a California LLC or a California corporation, they would want you to convert into a Delaware corporation, and that has to happen before they invest. Now, sometimes the structures are the structures. The entrepreneurs have not done much with the company. By the time they're talking to investors, they haven't issued equity to too many people, so it's easier to convert.
Right.
If you have not complicated your cap table, the cap table is pretty straightforward, then it's that much more easier to just convert
Yep.
into a Delaware corporation. But
Okay.
sometimes what happens is that you've hired a team, you've issued membership interests to the team, you've issued
Right.
profits interest units to the team. Then it becomes complicated, and then the exercise also becomes expensive. So
Got it.
you have to think about that. You have to do that cost benefit analysis, that okay, you know being Delaware from the get go, or being in California or any other state from the get go, and then converting to Delaware, how much am I trying to save? Yes, if you're in Delaware Corporation, what you have to keep in mind is that the cons of that is, we've talked about the pros, but the downside of that is that if you are a tech entrepreneur based in California, you have a Delaware Corporation, you have to qualify, or if you're doing business in California, meaning you hiring people in California, then you have to qualify as a foreign company in California. So what that does is that you have to then pay franchise tax in Delaware, and pay franchise tax in California. So that's sometimes entrepreneurs think, hey, why should I be paying tax in two places? Well, that's the cost of doing business in Delaware. I mean,
Right.
you could save that cost of not paying franchise tax in Delaware for initial year or two, and then when you convert, you will have to, you'll have legal expenses, and that I
Right.
think the amount that you save will be less than what you end up spending to just convert.
Right, right. So I think one of the other key things about Delaware, it's also when you're exiting your company, it
Mhm.
makes it a little bit easier. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the question is that why is Delaware so favored by the investors, right? I
Yep.
mean, most VCs are based up in the Bay Area, in the Silicon Valley. Why would they prefer? Why would they want California? So you have a California corporation with the investors being in California, but wanting the company to become a Delaware corporation.
Right.
So the reason is the multiple reasons for that. First and foremost, Delaware corporate law is the most advanced.
Okay.
They have a very well developed body of law, corporate law. They have, they have a specialized court system that only deals with corporate law.
Hmm.
So as a
Okay.
result of that, the corporate law has, the body of law has advanced in Delaware. Secondly, that there is a lot more predictability in the Delaware law, and that stems from the fact that there's a court system, that the judgments that come out of that court system are consistent, and that they've been able to advance corporate law
Right.
and in other states, and hence it's more predictable. It's more predictable from the investor's perspective. It's more predictable from the directors and officers perspective, right? Then there's always the thing of there are practical side to it, filings in Delaware, and this comes up a lot, not many times. Filing documents in Delaware, it's much easier and much efficient and less expensive.
Okay.
Whereas in other states, it's the other way around. One example I always give is that if you file a document in California, if you file your articles of incorporation in California, of course, now we are in a different, very difficult environment. But even before COVID, California would have taken anywhere from 7 to 10 business days to get your articles of incorporation back.
Right.
You can expedite it, but you then have to pay extra fees for that.
Additional fee for it, yeah.
Yeah, additional fee, and used to be $350. I think it's still the same, but
Yep.
in Delaware, you file a document today, you will get it back in 2 to 3 business days. If you want to expedite it, you can. I think it's $100, and you can get it back the next day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's that
That's pretty
practical side of things as
significant.
well. And then
Yeah.
the Delaware, they are not going to nitpick on your documents. We see that California sometimes raises objections. Hey, you missed out. There's something, your numbering is off, and
Right.
your filing gets rejected, and then you have to rush to make sure you get it filed back on the same day, because otherwise the money that you've paid to them that gets
Okay.